Well,
yeah, it's the end of the year.
we're coasting to the end of the calendar. 2 more days. So if you ain't done all the things you want to do in 2013, you better hurry it up.
You don't have much time.
Golly.
And there's a lot of things to do still.
Well, there's a lot of neat things. You had a great golfing game yesterday. I had a run with my 11-year-old, and then today, of course, bad weather.
Yeah, I woke up and it was just out of control.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it, Pete, because there's no football game. In fact, I told the gal at the convenience store behind the counter, they're talking about the rain, I said, it's fine right now, but in September I would have hated it.
Yeah, because you're in the gym. I was actually thinking the exact same thing,
In fact, it's kind of fun to come out of crappy weather into a nice warm gym where everybody's going crazy, like Vela the other night, which we'll talk about, but go ahead.
Let's start with Saturday. Saturday we had some pretty good games up in my district. Opened up with Memorial and Rowe. And
Memorial, they hung with them for a while? Or?
They hung with them for a quarter, and then in the second quarter, off the bench, Mauricio is what the coach calls him, but he calls himself Mari Campos.
Oh, yeah. The
2 back-to-back three-pointers.
Huh?
2 back-to-back three-pointers, put them up by 10, and that was pretty much the dagger. And, Memorial would score, but so would Rowe. And it ended up being, at the end, maybe, I forget, 20 points or something like that, without Chris Gatling.
Wow, yeah, which I don't know. How long is he going to be there?
The coach was saying few weeks, hairline fracture, so.
Well, I hope he can keep lifting or with his legs and walking around or something, but wow, that's too bad for him. When a guy like Campos comes in and hits shots like that, that's just one more weapon to contend with. You can't beat the team. There's no way, because they're going to get things from the known guys.
Exactly, which Jojo Martinez got his points.
Jojo.
Allen got his points.
He can hit the three, huh?
Yeah,
he can stick it, huh?
Yeah, they can, yeah. And, they were shooting from the outside. That's what killed the Mustangs this time around, the three-pointer.
If they shoot from the outside that well all year, then they'll go 3 or 4 deep.
Yeah.
I mean, because they got the inside game.
The inside game was there, and it was just like, wait a minute, they were supposed to be at the rim. Now they're on the outside. What's going on here? You know what I mean? So it was fun to watch, So.
I tell you this, though, Gatling needs to come back when he's ready and get back into that basketball shape, because you don't want him not in there. Yeah. And that guy's one of the key cogs of the team. He's a veteran kid, played forever. Boy, I hope that he's able to just. It's hard to be patient, though, because you always want to come back and say, it's ready.
You're a kid, yeah.
He wants to play.
You want to play. I mean, you want to compete. You're a competitor. Everybody, it doesn't matter if you're a kid, but I think it's a little more, you're a little less mature than you would be a professional.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
hey, so who does Memorial have? I wrote it down here.
Memorial's got PSG North, which is going to be a tough test for them.
Yes,
and
yes.
I've seen North play, and they can hang in there. I mean, they're very young. They're very young. They have a couple of freshmen.
Jaime always brings up freshmen, man.
But I mean, Memorial on Saturday they went 6 of 12 from the free throw line. You can't. That's 50% is not good.
That's not good enough. No. But North was 7 out of 18 against Vela. I was like, what? That's terrible. 39%. So,
they're getting to the rim and they're getting to the line. They need to make them.
Well, yeah, exactly. Why get to the rim if you're not going to make your free throws? I'll tell you this. I don't know. I had to check the numbers. In many years, though, this is the worst free throw shooting season I've seen in a long time. Boys, girls, everybody. We just don't have too many good shooting teams, and I'll tell you why I think that's the case. 2 things. I was telling my 11-year-old this the other day. I think that we shoot too many threes.
Yeah.
And I don't mean any one particular team or player. I'm just saying basketball in general, too many three-point shots. It's tempting to hit a three-pointer, but isn't a layup easier?
I've always thought so, and it really boggles my mind how people just start shooting threes. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Little kids.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
When you watch when the little kids come out at the halftime of a high school game, they let them do that anymore. They'll immediately go try to hoist some three-pointer that comes halfway. It lands on the square. The mid-range jump shot is a lost art. Just like the good screen is a lost art. But the fact is, the game changes. The pros nothing but three-pointers and dunks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Until the playoffs. That's when you have to play real basketball. Anyway.
So Memorial needs this win. They're still in great shape in district. You know what I mean? They've got 1 loss.
Yeah, they're fine.
So they need.
They got to beat North. Is that at PSG?
I believe so. Yes. And
they should win that game. But like you said, North is a team that's up and coming. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. They did really well against PSG when I saw them play.
Right. Who beat McAllen the other day?
What a way to
barely.
Yeah, what a way to win.
Mancias is the best player in the valley. Top five.
He really is a great player. I mean,
High School Musical.
30 points. I mean, layup. He splits people. I've seen it. He's done it a lot.
And then he's dribbling again. Yeah, not just splitting them and passing, but splitting them with a dribble and then doing something.
So PSJ's 4-1. I mean, they've got a great chance too. I mean, it's a tight district.
You know what I like about Mancias?
For a second.
Yeah, exactly. For a second. Mancias is the type of guy who'll come up. You're not sure what he's going to do. He can go by you, or he can go and just pull up and hit him. Yeah. Beltran does the same thing for North. Man, they're very quick off their feet.
Which is what happened. So that's That's pretty much what's going down right now in that district. There's some good games on Saturday. So.
We have a big week.
Yeah.
In our town, it's Sharyland comes to town. They're going to be all over Edinburg, man. It's going to be interesting. So it's
with the headline of the week apparently. So they got a Pistocaccia back.
Pistocaccia. Now, will he play? I do not know. If he does, here's my scoop on Pistocaccia. It's not a scoop. It's more of an analysis because I don't ever get anything fast. I'm as slow as a turtle walking backward in molasses. It will hurt them in the short term to the extent that they'll have to change everything. Because I don't care who it is, it's not Sharyland, it's not Pistocaccia, it's that situation. Anytime you get a new kid in, and he's not new, he's old from here, but it's different for the mix they have. That will take them a couple of weeks to figure out what to do. You know?
Yeah, so you got to work that offense and the defense, and you got to figure out, okay, so where
does he fit?
Exactly, where are we really going to use him?
It makes Sharyland the tallest team ever. Because I already got those big kids that are up front, and he can handle the rock. So long term, it makes him, I would say, almost a favorite to win the second half. Because if he's as good as advertised and he fits into that team that's already huge, maybe he can run the point and get the ball to them big kids, and then for kickouts and whatnot, and then drive. You know, potentially it is a game changer for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're gonna find out. They got North tomorrow and they got Vela on Friday, so they're all over Edinburg.
Oh, it's going to be exciting. I've been waiting for this for a while. Got that little coasting break, you know. I got out and hunted a little bit, got my truck stuck, but we're not going to talk about that. We already did. And so North comes off a big win against Vela. In the first half, the SaberCats were hanging tough, man. They didn't play very well, and they were out physical. They're not mature enough, bulky physically, to play with that North, because North is experienced. Even their little guys are kind of randy, man. They're tough, you know. So Vela hung in there. They didn't shoot well. It was a 4-point game at the half. But in the third quarter, as you will read, 30-8.
Yeah,
North was killing. They were killing, doing everything right. Everything right.
You can't do that now. So the question is, like I've said, I've searched and I think I found January 3rd is when Pistocaccia could play.
Okay.
So it'll be the Sharyland team that
we know.
Playing. Exactly. So how's North going to match up with that then?
I would think North wants to play defense and make the Sharyland guards perform. Because if you let those big kids get to the rim, they're going to make it. Delatorre is a good player. So I think they may press. But see, the thing is, you've got to make shots to press. And North did not shoot that well in the first half. But Brian Beltran was out of his mind in the third quarter. It was just fun to watch, man. Because if he got it, it was like it was a catch and shoot, man, from the way deep in the corner. The picture we ran is emblematic of what he was doing. By the way, his brother was at the game. You remember Aaron Beltran, who was a very good player, number 3 last year. He's headed to Peru for a 2-year mission trip. Interesting. Oh, yeah, he's a neat kid. I like that family. They're a unique group. You know, they really are. I mean, they have interesting ideas. Their dad apparently is an organic guru of some sorts. I mean, he has all these homemade neat things. So I've always enjoyed them. And it's just a shame that it's going to come to an end because Lico and Brian are seniors. No, we want more Beltrans. And that brought me to thinking the other day, Pete, we need more Beltrans, we need more Isabels, and we need more Browns. We need to get on the internet and order 4 more Browns because Robert Brown's a senior, right?
Yeah, they are.
Danielle Isabel, who's amazing, is a senior. So it's kind of like, oh man.
It was definitely a good year in Edinburg for athletes. Yeah, I mean,
it sure was.
I've been going through the issues of the reviews and for this past year. And yeah, I remember it was a lot of fun.
Leah Brown.
Yeah.
Leah Brown will go down as, I believe, the best female athlete in the history of the Valley. Anyhow, let's talk for a little bit more about the Vela SaberCats, both girls and boys. And we do North girls too. Vela was not ready for prime time, okay? They had missing a guy, Christian Enriquez. They didn't play well. Like I said, they seemed skinny. You know, they seemed like last year's team a little bit in the second half, which they're not. They're not. So what Vela has to do, what Coach Lalo Rios has to do, in my opinion, is psychologically tell them, hey, blow it off, because they whipped your butts. But you know what? It was a 4-point game in the second half. In the first half, we have Christian, it's a different game, this and that. So he has to make, not rationalization, because that implies that he doesn't believe it, but just tell them that, hey, enough already. Let's just go play hard and let's win a game, because that was the biggest game of the year for them so far, and now this is the biggest game of the year. They have to play well against Sharyland. They can't get beat that bad again.
They really do. And so, like I said, so maybe Pistocaccia playing their, like we say,
it's a jumble. It's a mess.
Their offense is not just going to start clicking.
I doubt.
I mean, unless they're the coolest basketball players of all time.
And then they're just champs.
Yeah.
No matter what. No, yeah, exactly. If Pistocaccia, like I said, he could put them over the top. Vela is a good basketball team, a very good basketball team. It's just that it's a young team. Exactly. And so that loss was dispiriting because I think that, and Lalo and I were talking about it before the game, it would have been fine to lose the game, not fine, but acceptable. But getting beat by 23 like that, that's not what you wanted, progress-wise for your team.
It's exactly, and like you were saying, they're young. It's tough for them to put that behind them. Which you should do. I mean, the game's over. That's it. Nothing you can do about it.
If you're lucky, then they're going to have to take their cue from a player or two, and that rhymes. I didn't mean it that way. Someone's going to have to lead the train and say, guys, let's go, man. Who cares? Let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Jimmy Cisneros. He's the type of guy who he has kind of a swagger to him and a charisma. Maybe he can convince, and him and his other friends, convince them to say, hey, man, Nimolo, let's play Sharyland, because they can play with Sharyland. I guarantee you they can play with them.
No, I really see both of those teams being very competitive against Sharyland.
What you don't want to do is lose big again, because then in the mindset you're below these two teams, and you don't want to be there. You want to say we beat Sharyland, lost to North. You want to keep in the pace with the teams that are the best, and so if you think you're the best, you got to win that game.
But if Sharyland comes to Edinburg and beats both of those teams,
then they're the favorites. Absolutely, yeah. That's why it's the fulcrum week, Pete. It's amazing.
There was no other way you could think that they could bounce back from that, because they hold that psychological advantage of, yeah, we went to your town.
That's right, and whooped you.
And beat two.
Right, two in a row. And conversely, if you lose both, then you're that team that's here, and they're here. So right now there are three teams right here, and then who's going to be where?
Saturday morning is a lot of dust will be settled.
Yeah, that's right. Now let us not forget about the girls' picture, because it is North and Sharyland girls, which is a fine game. That's tomorrow, right? That's New Year's Eve. I think it's 2, and then the boys at 3:30 or something. But it's a doubleheader, and if you miss it, you're crazy. You got to go to the game, or those games. North and Sharyland both have 1 loss apiece. Sharyland to Donna, 41-29. North lost to whom? They lost to Vela by 2. Oh my, or by 1.
Yeah, by 1. Yeah.
1, the free throw. We've been having some great pictures and little cut lines. I hope nobody's taking offense to them, but we're being a little gutty. But I mean, let's make it interesting. They're gutty.
They're great photos, and why not make the picture a little bit different?
But never want to try to make anyone feel good or bad. You know me, I'm trying to keep it even. I'll say what I think, but I'll never make a comment because after all, hey, these are our people, man. It's my kids. I don't want.
I mean, what we do is all in. Perfect taste.
I always worry though. I always worry, and I'll tell you why. Because I've been involved in media operations before where we made a mistake and we regretted it. And I wasn't with the monitor when they ran the picture of the Memorial kid who missed the extra point twice in one issue. On the front page, on the sports, that was one of the most Bush League things I've ever seen in my life, and it still bothers me. So I'm always wary that we not come off as sensational or uncaring. I mean, we have no obligation. This is not a PR firm. Yeah. But we don't ever want to make a kid feel like that. I mean, you should have found another picture to run, not the same, the so-called go to the game twice. It's horrible,
The go to the game, wow.
It's like borderline libel, or character defamation. Anyway, I'm not trying to dredge up old stuff, but I did. But it was topical. The North Sharyland girls game is this. North has a fine defensive team. If they get any kind of shooting effort from outside, they'll win, I believe. But if they don't, it'll be a struggle. They don't shoot well from the floor. That's why I mentioned that. Claudia Lopez had a tough game against Vela. Okay, Vela shut her down pretty much, and she missed some shots. I don't expect that to happen again because she's had a tremendous season as a sophomore. She really is a fine player. So if she has any kind of ball game like she can, I believe that North is a slight favorite at home. Now, Sharyland's got a big kid. Maddie got it. They've got a couple of new guards. They're coming, and they've played well. I mean, they got that 1 loss. And down they can beat you because they have the Williamses, and sometimes they can just do that. Yeah. This is a huge game in the girls. In other words, which one of those teams is better? I do not know the answer to that.
Yeah, man, I guess the place to be is Edinburg.
And then Friday, Vela, Sharyland. Again, if Vela passes the ball and they get any kind of shooting, which they can, they're a pretty talented offensive. Now, looking at the girls' teams, I think they're the most skilled when they do what they can do. I mean, Ariel and Isabel, you don't get 2 guards like that on a team. That's like having Mara Guzman and what's her name, 24 that they used to have, the shooter. Gina. Yeah. So, you don't get that very often, and they got it. They got 2 great guards. The extent to which they get contributions from inside will matter, because they don't want to let the big kid get off. Maddie's just learning varsity basketball, and she's going to be a good player. I think it's 32. She's going to be tough, man. Don't let her get confident. You may see a little Brittany Escobar this game. I don't know, the tall sophomore. A good-looking jumper, she's learning the game. But, sometimes you throw a kid in there, even if they haven't played, and they got fouls to give, and they may end up blocking us. I've seen her block shots in the summer. I feel like she's going to be a good player in time. That's a toss-up. I feel like playing at home, Vela has to be a favorite. And yet, hey man, Sharyland girls have kept pace with everybody. They got 1 loss. 1 loss for North, 1 loss for Vela, 1 loss for Sharyland. There is no better reason to go out and see those games because it is not in the stand.
I'm kind of ready for it to be tomorrow already.
Indeed, man.
You know what I mean? I get the upside of both. I get to go watch Sharyland because they're in my area.
And there's gonna be a lot of people over there, I think, and a lot of fun people to see. I don't get over to Sharyland as much as I used to. I used to go to the Diamondback every year. I used to try to see them when they played Edinburg. It's just, things change.
Yeah.
But now, I'm looking forward to really taking a good look at their teams. I like to be able to speak without speculation on things, which I opine.
Yeah, so it happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, so let's get to basketball then.